On the streets of Wexford town again today to raise the alarm about the crime of geoengineering. Okay, this young fella here has heard about geoengineering before, right?
Yep.
You got a flyer off us here a few weeks ago, and you were saying you've noticed the skies since we gave you the flyer.
Yeah.
And had you been looking at skies before that, and had you noticed them?
Yeah, I've been noticing like the trails in the sky of the.
Okay. And are trails in the sky a normal thing for you to see now? You think?
Sometimes, yeah. If it's a clear day,
yeah, because once upon a time, trails up in the sky only stayed there for a couple of seconds, a minute maybe maximum. Contrails, condensation trails, but now they stay up there for hours, if not all day. But anyhow, I'm going to give you a DVD. Please look at it. What in the world are they spraying? And tell your friends all about it. Hi girls, just talking to these girls on the streets that hadn't heard of geoengineering before, so I've just given them a flyer. You never heard of anything, chemtrailing, geoengineering, you never heard the term?
No, never.
Well, basically, our weather has been modified for the last 20 years. And how they're doing this is they're spraying particulates into the atmosphere to create artificial clouds. And because of all of these clouds, these unusual clouds that are created artificially by these programs, NASA have now brought out this cloud chart here to normalise the effects of geoengineering. When I was going to school there was only 10 clouds, now there's 34 clouds. Crazy. Look at this. This is pretty much what we can see here today. M1 alto stratus. There's no cloud definition in it whatsoever, like, you know. And yesterday we were like this, we had wave clouds. They never existed in the past, but they do now. They're trying to normalise them, and kids are being taught in school now that these are natural clouds.
Yeah.
Total brainwashing going on. But don't take a word. Don't believe a word I'm saying. Just look into it yourselves. I'm going to give you a copy of What in the World Are They Spraying. It's the first professionally produced documentary to document this crime. And we all need to understand what's going on here, because we're not only have we got bad weather because of this program, but the stuff that's falling down on us. Look at here. It's contaminating the soil. There's aluminium oxide falling down. It's polluting the water. It's getting into our brains. Alzheimer's is at an all-time high, and that's what Alzheimer's is. It's an over-accumulation of aluminium in the brain cells. And I rang up the Alzheimer's Society Ireland, and I told them about this program. They never heard about it, but they weren't even aware that aluminium is what causes Alzheimer's. It's crazy, you know. So I'm telling them, like, there's 200 million tons of this stuff being dumped on us every year. I mean, this is being declassified by the US military, that they are already dumping it on us. So, you know, it's absolutely insane. But we all need to know what's going on here. They're controlling the weather, causing floods, droughts, all sorts of stuff. They're basically taking control of the food supply. If you control the weather, you control the whole world. You can take control of food production. You control human populations. But it's crazy stuff, and I wouldn't expect you to believe it for a minute. But please look at the DVD, and that's it. Lovely job. Thanks a million. Hang on, I'm going to give you.
Time for change on May 23rd. Go out and cast your vote.
Right, you know, well, you're just wondering what we're doing here. We are trying to draw attention to the fact that we're being sprayed every day. So look at planes fly. We're under a busy airline here in Wexford, right? Yeah. Lots of planes going over every day. Notice the skies. Not today now, they're not spraying, but most days when planes are flying by, they'll leave big long trails behind them, right? Yeah. These trails will expand out and they'll create artificial cloud, right? There's a program going on called solar radiation management. Governments around the world are trying to reflect the sun back out to space to protect us from global warming, to say. Yeah, to cool the planet. Right, but they're shrouding the earth with a blanket of chemicals. And if anything, it's going to warm it up. It'd be like putting a lagging jacket on your immersion tank. But the thing is, we're being sprayed with this stuff, and there's aluminium and all sorts of different materials falling down on us. Right, this lady has just come up here, and you said you were talking about, is this the planes in the sky and all? You've heard about this?
Yes.
Can you tell me just what you know?
What my children have told me, and I look and I can see the same, what they're seeing. All the youngsters are getting very alert with it as well.
And you're referring to the lines in the sky?
The lines that don't, when it's a plane, it goes. But when it's, what is it, you know, what they're doing.
Exactly. The trails years ago would have dissipated in a couple of seconds.
Yes, that's
but now
right.
they stay up there all day.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And
it's happening in Ireland. I didn't think
it's global. It's global.
Yes.
They're spraying particulates deliberately into the atmosphere to modify the weather, basically, and and for many other things, but modifying the weather is one of the main functions of it.
That's what I say,
Main man James Dillon on board here today. It's just me and James.
How you doing, kids?
Cool, man. He was here. It was the last day as well. Another man who's aware of what's going on in the skies. How's it going today, James?
Everything's going great. Yes, a lovely day for it. We've got a bit of blue happening here now at the moment.
Any feedback?
Yeah, we're getting plenty of feedback. A lot of people seem to know about them. A lot of people that just blatantly not want to even stop and talk. Think you're probably a quack, but generally, like my feedback is that people are actually stopping to listen, and I'm concerned more about what's happened to the children on this, because Jane got her child tested lately as a 12-year-old, and he's laden with aluminium particles.
Really?
A 12-year-old laden with aluminium particles is serious. Oh God!
Hey, where did he get tested for that? Was it through the doctor?
In Only Natural there, they can send a hair test analysis over to a company in America, a doctor in America. He does the breakdown of what's actually in your blood, and you know for sure what's there.
Because I tried to get a blood test here and it cannot be done. The doctors will not do it. I've done 3 times, sent off blood samples, and I put them a note on
anyway,
it. Test for aluminium.
Hair
don't
test
do it.
analysis is much more. You get much more out of it, like, you know
exactly.
what I mean? So you can go up to Only Natural. I think it's like 40 quid for hair test analysis to be done. She send it over to America and have it back in 2 weeks. You know, a breakdown of everything that's in your bloodstream. So this young fella,
laden with aluminium. Anything else?
Loads of other stuff, but I can't remember.
Well, aluminium is one of the main ingredients that's in the geoengineering mix. It's listed out in the Welsbach Patent going back to the 1980s, and this is what's fallen down. There's no doubt it's fallen down because, as James said here, just people find it in their systems, in their blood.
Well, in their children,
it's found in soil. I showed high in rainwater samples I done here in Wexford, and it's everywhere. So where the hell is it coming from? Okay?
Exactly. I mean, a 12-year-old child. How does a 12-year-old child get laden with aluminium particles?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we don't use aluminium pots.
Exactly.
They're the stone age now, but
exactly.
So it's alarming, like, you know, when you find kids that are out in the school ground playing and outside in the weekends playing, how they're sucking right into
I tell you, man, we want to have bloody hazmat suits and gas masks on us, really, to be honest, in all fairness.
We need to get someone to penetrate into the Oireachtas, man, and get elected, and someone that'll really take on this issue, because all the protests in the world are just going to do no fucking good.
It's just falling deaf ears at the moment, man. There's nobody wants to take this on board. No politicians. I've approached a load of them. I've approached the agencies in the government and all that. None of them want to know about it. They know what's going on. A lot of them know what's going on because they all have answers for it. You know, they're saying, they're only contrails and all, like.
Right.
But so they know what's going on. Most of these organisations are complicit. I'm not saying everybody within them that are complicit, but we need to reach out to these people. So the only way we're going to do that is by having awareness days like this in the streets and raising the alarm, and with the hope of reaching critical mass. That's our only way we're going to stop this programme, because our governments are complicit, and there's no point in going to them and saying please stop it, because they're the ones that are behind it. It's about us taking our country back and reclaiming our sovereignty, and choosing the self-determination and not being ruled by psychopaths in control, man. Lovely job, James.
Alright, guys.
Cheers, man. Right. Just you look very curious. You were looking at the information here. You said you noticed lines in the sky recently.
You noticed lines in the sky for about 2 hours after the planes went by.
Yeah.
And like we see a lot of these things here.
Yeah.
And like there'd be a load of planes gone over.
Yeah.
Here. Like the main points at Tusker for jets gone over.
Yeah.
So
there's all sorts of strange clouds being created by this weather modification program. They're modifying
colours in the clouds.
Exactly. There's rainbows, chembos they call them. Yeah. You got chemical refraction going on in the chemicals.
Yeah, like you see a slight greenish glow in some of the clouds.
Exactly.
Before heavy rain.
Exactly, and none of this stuff existed 20 years ago, but it's in the sky, going on in the skies every day.
The new jets and the chemicals coming out of the engines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we've seen, like we'd be looking at them outside. When you'd be at the beach, you'd see them going over, and like the lines would practically go fill up the sky with lines.
Exactly. And you know what? You ring up the government departments about it, and they'll tell you it's just vapour trails. Only vapour, that's all.
The vapour disappears after about 2 minutes.
You said it, man. Say that once more.
The vapour disappears after about 2 minutes.
Do you hear that, Irish government and all other corrupt governments that are involved in this criminal programme? Vapour disappears in about 2 minutes. It always has done, and it always will. But what we're seeing up there is not vapour spraying today, but what we saw yesterday was not vapour. Yesterday we were totally wiped out. They started at sunrise spraying massive big trails, and by midday the whole sky was just a mess.
don't really see any.
It was an absolute mess, but exactly. Vapor cannot stay up there that long, and it can't expand out to 100 times its mass. You know, it needs chemical assistance.
Really skinny and it gets really, really wide.
Exactly, you know, that needs chemical assistance to do that.
They fade away after like a few minutes after the jet goes by.
That's it, man. Some just good old common sense. Well, look, thank you very much, man. And you know,
busy today now, handing out the leaflets, trying to get people to see what's going on in the world, open their eyes.
Okay, this is Deirdre. Deirdre's running for local elections, and I just asking her there if you were voted in, or if I voted you in and you got elected, and I approached you then after you got elected, would you highlight the crime of geoengineering? You were saying that you're aware that this spraying is going on in the skies.
I am. What I will say to you is, because I'll never promise anything that I won't follow through on.
Yeah.
I would certainly.
Well, I'd prefer you be honest anyway.
I would certainly look into it.
Yeah.
I would take any concern that any person brings to me, and I would take it seriously.
Right.
I would read all the research.
Yeah.
And if I feel yes, there is a genuine concern here, which there does seem to be.
Yeah.
Then I would most certainly take it up.
Okay,
That's
Deirdre.
the best I can say about any issue.
Right.
If someone approaches me, I will listen to them. I will take them seriously, and I will follow through.
Right. Well, I'll give you now a vote, and hopefully we'll get you in. And as soon as you get in, I have any amount of documentation, government proposals to implement these programs.
Okay.
Yeah, from the House of Commons to the US Senate, all talking about geoengineering and chemtrail on the planet. They've been talking about it for decades.
Okay,
and,
well, Terry, you show me the backup, and
exactly.
if I'm convinced, I won't hold back.
Good woman yourself.
That's the best I can say.
Lovely Dee.
All right.
Hey, cheers. Bye. Right, this fella here has heard about geoengineering.
I have.
Where did you hear about it before?
I seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I agree with the premise that if we don't clean up our act, we don't get our act together. The earth is showing signs of trying to get rid of us already, with all tsunamis and stuff like that. And we're just poisoning the air with aeroplanes, and we're poisoning the air with spraying the crops.
Are you aware that this is a deliberate program? This is not just the general pollution.
Well,
this is
if
actually,
it is a deliberate program, it's a deliberate program to wipe us out.
Well,
and it's going to happen.
Well, the reality is like these particulates are being sprayed into the atmosphere deliberately to modify the weather and
to modify us and control
to modify us.
I
to
believe
saturate
there could be some sort of a chemical in it to make us feel like we're out of it, you know. And I believe that could happen because they have to control. They used religion before, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
People seen through religion. Now they're using spray. They're going to spray us now.
Exactly.
And say, well, let's try that.
Yeah.
Like,
There's corporations heavily invested in this program, and basically, if they're trying to contaminate the soil with aluminium, okay, so that they can offer their solutions in the form of an aluminium seed. They're controlling the weather using these particulates that they're putting up into the atmosphere. And if you control the weather, you control the world. 80% of the world's economy is weather sensitive. So if you can bring floods somewhere, like you can offer a flood resistant seed, then if you can bring a drought, you can offer a drought resistant seed. So there's big corporations behind this. Governments have been writing about geoengineering for decades. But look into it yourself. Sorry, I'm rambling on here a little bit, but we want all day to talk about it. But it's a massive program, and governments all around the world are complicit. I phoned all the government agencies in Ireland about this, and they're just giving me this usual story that they're only condensation trails is what I'm seeing in the sky. Okay, just point out the cloud that you've seen in the sky recently. Okay, the M4 altocumulus. This is only a new cloud, like all of these clouds on this chart. There's 34 clouds here. There used to be only 10 clouds when I was going to school, but these are all new because of these programs with geoengineering that were going on in our skies. This one here was everywhere about 2 weeks ago. There was one Saturday. It was March the 15th, and I've got loads of photographs of it over Kilmore, and the whole sky was just dominated by them. Just talking to James there after the last little chat we had, and he mentioned about chelation, the process of chelation, cleaning your body of all these aluminiums and different toxins and all that. So this is solutions here. So let's talk about solutions, man. Explain there.
Solution is right. The body needs a certain amount of particular kind of dosage of minerals and supplements in order for the body to be able to stop using these aluminium particles stop using them.
All right.
Because what happens is the body actually takes them in, right? And it starts using them then in fight and flight mode. It starts overactivating our organs and our glands.
Okay.
We've got this straight from the horse's mouth. This is an actual science that's going on that I've been involved in chelation for the last 2 years. So the body won't get these particles out of it unless you prescribe the proper dosage. The synergy of dosage of materials together to actually for the body to then evict these heavy metal particles. Heavy metal particles are in the molecules, they're in every part of your bloodstream, right?
Yeah.
So the body is using them to stimulate its other organs and stimulate this and stimulate that. So you have to coax the body out of using them and release them and then flush them out of the body. There's a few different ways to do it. You can use cilantro is one. High dose cilantro, it takes a long time to do it, right? What the cilantro does, it gets in and it removes the heavy metal particle out of the molecule, but you need something else to flush it out.
Can you get that in any where can you get it?
Is a herb.
Cilantro?
Yes, and a herb, right? The best way to do it is, well, there's a woman here in town actually, in Only Natural, Christine. She does a hair test analysis. She can send it over to America. He'll send you back a proper report about what's actually going on in your bloodstream. He'll be able to tell you actually what the hell is going on in your life because of the toxicity of your blood. She'll prescribe these minerals and all that kind of stuff, and you can actually get on this process of healing. Another way to do it apparently is through the MMS. Apparently the MMS, a miracle mineral supplement, which is chlorine dioxide, targets the heavy metal particles and removes the heavy metal particles in a fraction of the time. We're talking about in 3 weeks you can rid your body of.
Really? Say that again.
Particles.
What is it?
MMS is miracle mineral supplement. It's actually chlorine dioxide.
Right, so
if you look up chlorine dioxide, there's a lot of controversy about it, but there's more good than bad. It's actually, I've done it myself. There's no side effects or anything of it, but the chlorine dioxide goes in and annihilates the heavy metal particles through a process of oxidization. That means it attacks the actual atom of the particle, removing some of the electrons and forcing the particle to almost explode. The body comes along and washes it out. Beautiful. So if you really need to get your body evacuated fast of heavy metal particles, MMS is the way to go.
Lovely,
the other minerals and materials require a good process of time, but it's a good idea to actually get your bodies checked regularly. Apart from what's going on even with the cars when the fumes that come out of them are laden with heavy metal particles, there's loads of shit in the atmosphere. We could do with a cleanse once a year to make sure that we don't get into the area of sickness, because massive amounts of sickness now are related to heavy metal particles existing in the blood. So if you get on a cleanse once a year, make sure you're in tip-top health, and don't let your children go on for years without getting the hair test analysis. Get the hair test analysis, determine what's in your children's bloodstream, and then act on it in an accordant manner, and get some process of chelation going on for them.
Lovely job, man. Brilliant. Very informative stuff, man. Excellent. Good man, James. Look, here's a document from the US military, alright? It's called Aurora Flight Sciences. And in this, stick there, lad. In this, they talk about modifying aircrafts to spray materials into the atmosphere. Okay, modification to existing aircraft. It talks here about what is geoengineering, and it says here geoengineering is described as the large-scale and deliberate intervention of the Earth's climatic system with the aim of combating global warming. Well, you got all these documents written out by govs, and they've made no secret about it over the decades. They've been writing about this stuff for a long time, but their need to control the weather and to reflect the sun back out to space and all this. But there's any amount of patents here describing. Look at this method of producing cumulus clouds. That's a patent from 1987. There's other ones here. This one here is from 1917. The process and apparatus for production of intense artificial cloud. It's old science, you see, but people think it's crazy, like, you know. But anyhow, sure, I'll give you a film and look into it yourself anyhow, will you? Yeah, we all need to know what's going on here. Thank you.
Some people are interested, some people don't care, but you get that everywhere. Giving a good conversation there now.
modifies the weather basically. Yeah, look into it yourself. I'll give you a DVD. Right lads, hold up you got a copy of What in the World Are They Spraying? Hold them up there. Lovely jubbly. And I'm going to give you a stack of flyers here. There we go. We just give them out in school on Monday morning. Now make sure that they get to as many people as you can. Don't throw them out, will you?
Yeah, positive.
Get everybody talking about this. Look into it yourself though. Don't believe a word I say. Cheers lads. Take care.
I wake up each morning neath a dismal white sky. It's just about enough to make me wanna cry. Plants just not growing, people get so sick. Geoengineering is the reason for it. Toxic white lines in the sky don't make you feel high. Toxic white lines in the sky don't make you feel high. Aeroplanes are painting white lines in my sky. Not like normal contrails, these are the toxic kind. Barium and cadmium fall into the ground. Plants die when there's an aluminium around. Toxic white lines in the sky make you wanna cry. Make you wanna cry. Toxic white lines in the sky make you wanna cry. Make you wanna cry. The media deny it, they cuss you as insane. They even go too far to say you're mentally deranged. To turn off your TV set and look up where they fly, to see the toxic white lines that occupy the sky. Toxic white lines in the sky make you wanna die. Make you wanna die. Toxic white lines in the sky make you wanna die.